boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure if it's just my YouTube feed or not, but I don't know. It seems like it's like a 30-second delay. So if it's a little delayed on YouTube, make sure you just refresh the page. That might help. But I haven't seen it lag that much in that long. So not quite sure for you people on YouTube, but it does look like it's coming through. Guess who else came through? Guess who else came through? We got Alex in the house. Good morning. We got Bill, Brian, Carrie, Cindy, Eric. Good morning. Fayaz, Gerline. Good morning. We got Jason J, Lauren, Lou, Lovell. I think that's your last name, no? Lovell, Augustin. Is that backwards or that's your first name? Let me know. We got Lucian in the house. Good morning. We got Mark Martina. Good morning to Ron, Shane, Win, all my peeps out there in YouTube land who's possibly on like that 30-second delay. Is Lovell? That's your first name? Beautiful. That's my mom's name too. That's my mom's name, actually. No, I'm just kidding. And good morning. We got Richard Jet in YouTube land. We got Daniel. We got Brian. Brian Chambers is in the house. We got D just with an underscore as a last name. So let's get crazy. Nah, this is not Jeremy Newsom. This is DJ Dan in the AM. Hope you guys all had a absolutely fantastic weekend. Ola just popped in. Good morning to you as well. BEA, beautiful. So let's see what we got in the market. We do got a little bit of a gap up. A little bit of a gap up this morning. And Deepak's in the house. Deepak, did you get that all sorted out with the Tesla Titans? I think Jeremy was sharing the link. All right. So we got a little bit of a gap up above a couple different VPOCs, not out of the woods yet. You guys are probably absolutely sick and tired. I am as well of hearing this 413.56, but we just can't break it. I just want this market to break one way or the other, and we could get a direction finally built. But for right now, we are slightly at a little bit of resistance. So first level is probably 412.56. Next one is about 412.70. And shop zone, probably support would hold us at 411.62. Seems like the number, if we do break, which we have before, but the bulls have come in. I mean, if we're looking at the wicks, one big massive wick, another inside day with some bullish wick, another decent massive wick coming in on Friday, just kind of holding us up there at least. So it's been a strong fight, Bulls, Bears. Today we do have a lot of, and if we even check out this pre-market, last night I think futures open, and they were, when I went to sleep at least, we were down a little bit in the negatives, so we were pulling back a little bit. Then we had this nice little kind of gap up in the morning for the SPYs. So it looks good. I think we already had somebody from the Fed say something, and the markets didn't like it, and it dropped. So we do have a few different Fed speakers today. I believe we're probably up a little bit from just the debt ceiling talk. So we're going to continue to hear about that probably till the end of the month. I think the deadline is June 1st. So we will be hearing more just headlines. I think the latest from it is over the weekend. I don't know. They say this, but we made progress. We made some progress on it. We found a little bit of common ground. And I think Tuesday, tomorrow, they're supposed to be meeting again. So I don't know if we're going to get too much more news development from debt ceiling, but at least for today. So we'll probably just be kind of playing off the headlines from the weekend. And I think the Fed is going to be the most driving catalyst of if we get some random pops or drops. It's got to be from that, unless we have some kind of black swan sitting out there, which you never know. But obviously, it's called Black Swan for a reason. We won't be able to see that until it comes in. Otherwise, it should be a relatively light news day. I don't think there's really too much more that is really driving the markets. And again, you're going to get the pops on the Fed, but it's going to be, I think, all probably short-lived, and then until the next Fed person comes out and says something else to drive it completely opposite direction. So Rock's in the house. Good morning, Rock. We got Hector as well. Hector says, they will increase debt ceiling. They ain't paying for it. Yeah. I think it's almost a given. And this is going to be one of the easier rallies, I think. Rallies or drops, right? Anytime they go, we're having troubles coming to an agreement. All right, stocks drop. Okay, we're looking good. Stocks go up. We don't pass the debt ceiling and risk defaulting on our credit ratings, massive drop. We pass it. Okay, great. Major move. Right? So it's just all going to be news based. Depends on when the news comes out, but it's almost an easier play to play. And again, I do think that ceiling, I don't think we don't not raise the limit. I don't know. Lauren says nice gap on Baba. Yeah, that's so far one of my favorites that I was looking at pre-market. So I'm kind of interested in playing that. I do already have some calls on Baba as well. But all right, let's take a look real quick at the cues. Nice little gap up, still inside day. So same thing with the SPY, inside day into a little bit of resistance. I don't know. Are the bulls going to be that strong today to break it out? I mean, anything's possible, but this is a rough one. To the high side, I mean, I don't really have another VPOC. If we could break the high of Friday, if we could actually break and I just don't know if we can, but if we can break the high of Friday, we're looking at probably about 328.21 will be my target. That's a big if. We do have this 10 slowly creeping in. The more we sit here, the more these moving averages start to build up higher and could give us a little bit of a boost momentum. But right now, I don't know. There was before Bob, there was TPIC. That one I don't know. That one I did not look at. So let's take a look at that one first. TPI Composites. Yeah, looks like a decent. I mean, again, this is a big move on Friday. We could get some continuation if we do. Your next target could take you to about $10.82, which would be a pretty fantastic move. We are above the VPOC from yesterday. I would prefer we get some kind of selling in this one first, maybe back down to 9.55, somewhere in that range. That's almost about 50% of Friday's candle, and then that looks to potentially take us up higher as well. So just to give me better risk reward, but I could see this having a little continuation. So if I miss it, I miss it. Otherwise, probably some kind of a pullback would look decent. Baba, but I do like that candle. That is a nice Friday breakout candle. Friday, Baba sold off, gave us almost tweezer bottoms. I am bullish on Baba. I like this gap up a lot. So all of this is kind of a retest. I believe there was a big shopping day, kind of like we do in Amazon Prime. That was on Thursday in China, Hong Kong. I think that added a lot of extra elements to this bullish move, but I would say sentiment is still bullish. I mean, this is a really nice gap that we had on Thursday above all these different VPOCs. Looks good. We are above this one as well. Next target for me, I mean, the first one's got to be a retest of 88.12, but then the next one after that, probably 88.97. So we should have some room to work. We're still all inside this candle, but anybody that did sell, that did panic, we actually closed lower than where we opened on that Friday. So could put a little bit of fear out there into the stock. Some people thinking maybe we could close this little bit of a gap first and they have some short positions. They would be trapped at open. So as of now, and again, pre-market, I was looking through a few things, but Baba is going to be pretty high on my list. If I could get a good risk reward, I don't know that we could break this 88.12 today. That's the only thing I'm not really 100% sure for. So I would almost like to see a pullback, which we might get as we are inside really that big candle from Thursday. But yeah, I like this one long for sure. I like that one long. Win says 950-ish is what I'm looking for. That's yeah, on TPIC, that's very doable. Google gapping down. Decent little trap. This thing has been so bullish where if we take, it kind of almost reminds me of, let's look at Meta on that big gap. Maybe even Nvidia did it a little bit too. But I think the gap on Google was massively strong. Similar, not quite the same, but similar to a gap like this on Meta. So massive gap. Here we actually hung out for a couple days, and then we started a small pullback. Kind of came in and we're just still hanging out. So Meta is at some kind of resistance right now, right? It's going to be interesting to see if they can break that little barrier. Not sure, but all these, again, the longer we stay up there, the more those moving averages start to catch up. That should add some additional pressure. Will this get filled? I think at some point. I just don't know. I just don't know when. Right. So Google, same type of thing. We still have, it is a gap and go today. So you have to play it bearish. Question is, how far are they going to let this thing drop back down? Is this a gap that can close? This would be our third. Well, we had 3 bullish days in a row, so this would be our 4th if this thing turns green. We do have good resistance somewhere around 117.07. If we could break the gap, I would be looking for that rough, I'll call it 112. But even that, I don't know that this gap is going to be. I think there's so much bullishness right now in Google where I think it's going to be a very difficult gap to fill, at least right away. So we're probably going to need a little bit more time on that gap fill. So if this thing breaks and wants to go, we have a great bearish trade. I mean, we're still, this is our highest volume candle, and we're still definitely inside of that one. So that would be the only kind of worry on that one. Hector says, of course, I failed to collar Google Friday. I mean, if we go hindsight trading, that would be decent. Let me know if you have any other stock tickers that you guys want to take a look at. We could definitely throw that into the chat. Otherwise, we could just kind of go down the list. I don't think there was really, honestly, too many gaps that I was looking at that I was like, I need to have this one. We'll look at Tesla first, and then we'll also look at Baidu since Bob was moving, and maybe some PDD as well. See if it's just a gap and go from Babo, or if we have any other decent setups. Tesla still looks massively weak. That is a big bearish engulfing candle that we had. I think sentiment would still be to short any rips that come in on Baba. I mean on Tesla, not Baba. I would like to see this thing move up a little bit higher. Pre-market, it was actually gapping up about $1 when I first looked at the market this morning. But that looks like we have some more room. So 165.32 would be the cards. I'm going to watch this. What I would like to see on this one is we do get, not that we do, but hopefully we get some kind of a green candle at open. I would like to almost see some of this retest a little bit. I don't know if we're going to get as high as 171, but if we could, I think that's our next spot that we would probably be very interested in getting some more puts, shorting, going short shares. This is TTM squeeze at the bottom. We do have bullish momentum coming in, so maybe that helps keep us up there for a little bit. But yeah, I think that we start to fade back down to this 163.34 would be my first target, and then we do have that massive gap below. I did say during this time frame when we're just kind of consolidating, I think that 146 does fill, which is that gap fill, but I think we fill that higher gap first and then come down. So essentially that's what's happening in Tesla, and I think we could see some more weakness coming in, but I don't know necessarily that we get 3 or 4 candles like this and immediately hit target. So we'll have to see how this wants to hold. The fact that we're below all those VPOCs, though, is not a great sign for Tesla at open, and we could see a little bit more of a sell-off. I'm going to put Tesla a little bit higher on the list for what I want to watch. Ron says, I want to sign up for the Hindsight Trading Mentorship coming out. It comes out on Saturdays. At 2 a.m. It's very tough to make those ones. But since it's the Hindsight one, it's always the previous Saturday of the one that already passed. D wants to take a look at Bitcoin. We can take a look at that as well. MasterCard. So MasterCard just kind of hanging out inside. Yeah. For swing trade potential, if you're still in it, or if you've already gotten into this thing, it's still worth the holds. Move stops accordingly. Probably one stops around 377.50. Day trade wise, I just don't know if there's a lot of momentum in this thing. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. We're opening again with a small little gap up, not clearing. If this thing was clearing 385.02, then we have one little level ahead of us, but that would look decent for some more momentum. Otherwise, we're just hanging out. So I don't know where the edge would be in MasterCard. The only thing I would say is sell high, buy low, right? So if we get down to like 381-ish, I'd be looking to go long. If we start hitting this upper band somewhere around 384.07, I'd be looking to go short on that one and just kind of play that range until the market tells you, all right, we're breaking out. Pizza's still in it. Yeah, that's what I would. If you're in it, if you had some kind of a swing, something like that, it looks good. You didn't break one way or the other. Shake Shack gapping up. Is this earnings? Or they had news? Looks like it's not earnings. Did they get an upgrade somewhere, maybe? Neo Games, Shake Shack shareholders engaged capital. Oh, shareholder Engaged Capital is planning to launch a proxy fight as it seeks 3 seats on the burger chain's board. Is that good news for the company? To me, that would seem kind of negative, but we're gapping up on it, so the market likes it. I don't quite understand that news, to be honest. This is a really, really nice gap. We got to keep this one on the list. We have to watch it. This is a gap and go. I just don't know how far this thing is going to run. You have a lot of buying into this thing already, and we are gapping up. If we're going to play this long, I'm going to need to see that red candle come in. I want to take a break of a red candle somewhere. For me, and I'm perfectly fine missing things. This could be a miss for me, for sure. But if all of those people are now profitable and this thing's gapping up 5% from close after they had a little bit of a heart attack, panic attack on Friday of like, oh, is this it? This is the top. We're going to pull back, come in a little bit, something like that. They're a little terrified. Now they have a chance to get out with more profits. I think this one probably fades first before it goes long, but we're definitely clearing some pivots. So if I miss it, I miss it, but I want some selling to come in before I take this one. I'm going to put this one higher on the list. It's not going to be a take a trade right at open type situation, but I have to watch and see it. Yep, Tesla still looks weak. Wendy's saying Tesla, AMD, and NVIDIA. Shaq was last one. All right, let me see AMD real quick. It looks like Shake Shack before the gap up. Still looking a little bit to the weaker side at this point. Has to hold this spot where we're at now. Friday's VPOC 94.61. So slight little gap up, still inside day. It's going to make it very, very tough to day trade it. I think we might see another inside day. I wouldn't be shocked if we see another inside day. Otherwise, for some kind of a pullback, and again, this is what I think people on Shake Shack were possibly thinking before the gap up as well, is maybe you can make some moves back down to that $90.38, or even 88.29 is the 618. So I think this one probably has to pull back first before moving higher. For day trade purpose, AMD is going to be a little bit, I think, on the trickier side. I would not be shocked if we have some kind of inside day. NVIDIA is going to be the same exact thing. So we had some bullish sentiment. We've had bullish sentiment for a while now. 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row of selling, but we're all still inside. Interesting spot where we bounced off of, though. That's probably the 50 or the 618, somewhere in that zone. Yep, that looks like a decent bounce off that 618. So I can see us continuing a little bit higher. I got targets that are 299.34. That has not hit yet. That hasn't hit, but we have major resistance, 285.47. So we'd have to get above there first. And then we have another little resistance, 288.73, and then 291.78. But this could be bullish break, little pullback, and I wouldn't be surprised the next couple days at least we could see this. Today could be a little bit of an inside day though. Let me see some of the YouTube ones. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. That one came in a while ago. We didn't get to yet. Bitcoin USD. There we go. So Bitcoin, great hammer, good volume. So this is the hammer if you were playing this one. This one came in 4 days ago, and your entry would be somewhere around 27,132, 25,769. Obviously, that was 4 days ago. So there's a good one for the Hindsight Mentorship Group. But we do have a little bit of potential moving averages coming in. I don't put too much weight behind the moving averages as much as probably some others do, but looking at this VPOC should hold. So I think if you could get a retest off this thing, I'd be patient. See if you could get a bounce off of like 27.13. That would be a decent entry to kind of just replay that hammer, but that's a pretty sweet looking hammer. I don't like the fact, of course, that we're making new lower lows and lower highs. So that's a little bit of a pullback. Obviously, you're going to want some kind of pullback, but this is a good support zone. So that hammer definitely trapped some of the bears in this thing. As we broke through that key level, bulls came right back in and shown a little bit of potential strength. So again, if you're going to play it with a good risk reward, 25, somewhere in that 25.7, 22-ish zone would be my stop, but I have to try to catch that on a pullback, especially pushing into some kind of moving averages on that one. Intuit, I'm mad at Intuit, by the way. I don't like Intuit. Oh, good. Gap down. That shows them. Their customer service has been absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. They've been charging me $16 a month for 3 years. And I can't figure out how to cancel this thing. And then they put me on hold. I was on hold with them about a month ago. I was like, I just need I don't even care about the refund. I just want to cancel this thing. And it took 8 hours on hold. Still nothing got resolved. Crazy. All right, but there's a decent little gap down. Is this a downgrade? Intuit. Meta gains more than 1% pre-market trading. Loop Capital gave them an upgrade after they've already moved more than 100%. Monday's another big gap. I looked at that one pre-market. It's just, that's massive though. ALB is a decent one. Charles Schwab. If you want to mess with financials, I don't even see Intuit in this. I must have missed it, but all right. Yeah, that's a pretty nasty gap down. This one, I wouldn't be shocked if this thing comes down a little bit further and then we look for a reversal on it. But that is a pretty hefty drop for sure. I've got a big support somewhere at 404.79. So that would be the spot to look for a bounce if we're going to get one. This is probably short at open. I want to say this thing fades higher first, but I'm not sure it does. Let's put Intuit higher on the list. We'll see if we can make anything to the short side on this thing. This would definitely be one that I would want to see that green candle first. Attempt some kind of a fade. Some bulls maybe coming in. Trying to buy it low. They get trapped. That would be a good, decent move. That it looks weak. I'm a little concerned about some of the support zones in here, but it's got a lot of room to the downside. So if this thing starts to move up higher, I have no problem shorting into it. In fact, I would love to short into it. It's actually a goal of mine. All right, Costco. Costco, am I missing the pre-market thing? I don't even see a pre-market ticker. There's a gap like $7,000. No. I mean, this one has a massive trend line. Massive little pennant pattern forming. If not today, it will be one to keep on the list as we look to break this out. Whichever way we break out of this thing is going to be absolutely massive. So we've had a little bit of a bullish run. We did close. I don't know how accurate this line is, but if that line is accurate, that would be, we did close outside of it. We have a little bit of resistance ahead of us, probably about 507.97. Again, this thing has just been channeling for an insane amount of time in this zone. So over the next few days, I would look for some kind of break. The only thing that concerns me right now with this one is you had to run up into it. So I would like to see, not sure that it's going to happen, but like to see one little more pullback, come in, retest those, and then we get the break would be fantastic. Otherwise, as we start to break, you might get some concerned bulls like, is this the time or not? As we approach this top of the channel, this trend line. So I would like to see this pull back. Day trade wise is not much. I don't think day trading wise I could do too much with it, but that looks pretty interesting for a swing. Rivian. Not sure where to get in long swing trade. I probably wouldn't. That's me. I like at least some kind of like positive sentiment behind this thing, and this thing has just been straight knife falling in the long direction. I would almost like to just find pops to short, and I think that's the easiest path to resistance or without resistance. But if you want to try to day trade it, this would be 3 days of massive selling. You're about to hit some kind of support. So if you want to play that retest on a day trade, that can make sense. I wouldn't throw the order out there, but I'd be looking for about 12.34. See if you get any interesting candles. Otherwise, probably back to like 12.13. So if you get 12.13, that's an amazing price. Gives you great risk reward on a day trade basis. And then you should have, I would like to say you have room to 12.92, but even that's going to be a little tough with a bunch of different moving averages in that zone. So be careful on Rivian. I don't like Rivian personally as an investment, not until they start making some actual money. Did I see AI? Not yet. So AI. We got HRB as well. It's going to go probably close to Baba. Good looking gap. Obviously, we got a good support resistance that we're into. So whether that holds or not sure. But that looks pretty crazy. That's a good gap. Just I don't like a lot of that resistance. If this thing starts to break, we probably got room to about 22.47. That's about 10% higher. So it looks decent. HRB and AI is one of those things where if it gets moving, people are just going to jump on the bandwagon real hard. HRB looks like a really nice short. H&R Block looks really good for a short. Maybe actually one of my new favorite gaps of the day if we want to play something short. Nice find. We'll have to see what kind of candles this thing brings us, but it looks like it's breaking everything and has lots of room to run to the downside. So H&R Block is going to also go up there pretty high on that list. Again, my play on this one would be see if we get a green candle for any type of retest. Not sure if it does. It's 3 bullish days in a row, but on a bigger time frame of things, it is trended down a little bit. So maybe we get some kind of green candle, something that comes on in. But it looks like we are just about out of time for YouTube. Looks like the market's about to open any second. You guys in the YouTube land, absolutely incredible. If you have not already, hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and be safe out there in the markets. We will do this all again tomorrow. So make sure you guys check out Real Life Trading. We have a lot of the free education as well. And we'll catch you guys.